On.
Welcome to the Ride Community Sports Centre. Matt McQuaid and Mookie. Here's Reggie Ridlin, son of former Sydney King Mark Ridlin, missing the short make, and it's two apiece. Another steal,
wow.
And a stick back. So Reggie Ridlin
really caused some pressure on Hills. That's going to be worrisome.
Brotherson with a...
He gets in that open court. He is so explosive. Give him half a step and he is gone.
Rebound Hickey.
There's a very clear strategy from Inner West here to apply the pressure and take Hills totally out of their offense.
Here's Moller. Sinaguritz with a handoff to Lyndon Smith. Throwing away too strong from Moller. Jason Strong on the glass. Storm Strong. Ben Graham, nice pass. And a nice reject to the rack. And right now, Hills' defense is really falling down.
Brain explosion, that one.
To Benjamin Graham.
That's
a good energy from the Bulls, considering this is a game that, in terms of finals places, doesn't mean of his. It's way off. Ben Graham on the rebound.
The type of offensive set where Inner West looks to struggle a bit when they get caught in a half court.
Martin Fidel tried to take Hickey off the dribble, and Hickey said, and threw it out.
What a start he's had.
Nice finish there from Paul Brotherson. Another veteran for the Hills Hornets. He's second in Waratah in scoring, averaging nearly 19 points a game. Moller and Hickey running the two-man game. Back to Hickey. Three ball. Yeah, that's well short. And here come the Hornets the other way. I was actually going to call it good. It looked good off his hand, but
good. Yeah.
It was way short. Graham. Weichman on the up fake and the pull-up. And nobody but the Bulls on the glass. Moller. Ridlin, who's been hot early. Smith Hyde, 13 on the shot clock. Hickey crosses over. Nice pass to Sinaguritz, who flushes it. What a play by William Davo Hickey.
That was impressive. Coming into this game, the two number 15s are the ones for me to look at. Davo Hickey, and we've seen that early in the way he is so dynamic and can break things down, which is what the Bulls need. And then on the other end, what can Weichman do in terms of battling against Sinaguritz and the size that the Inner West Bulls have, because he's the only hope really for the Hornets.
And the length as well. You know, they are very, very much undersized. It's Ben Graham. Weichman. And again, that length, that time it was Smith Hyde getting into the passing lane. You know, here's Ridlin steps back into a three, feeling it, in and out. Wow.
He is feeling it.
Here's Graham, goes behind his back. Yeah. Now fades away and tapped out to get another look at it. Hand off, Weichman, that's a terrible shot. Yeah. Rebound Hickey.
Not ideal.
Certainly just been taken right out of their offense right now.
Yeah, it's all about tempo.
Hickey, that was a poor pass that time, looking for Sinaguritz. Turns the ball over. Graham fires away from deep and hits a big one, a much needed three for the Hills Hornets.
Very much needed. Pulling them back within range at 13-9.
Hornets just 4 of 14 shooting from the field early here. Now Hickey again crosses over, straight to the rack, no good. Tip is right there for Johnny Sinaguritz, that height and that length that we just spoke about, Mookie.
Yeah, and it's going to be a long night for the Hills if they keep allowing that sort of penetration, because the follow-ups on the boards, and here's Moller.
Here we go, Moller into the passing lane and throws it down.
Straight back into that full court pressure.
One of the things they're doing so far is just converting these turnovers into scores.
Yes.
Pretty much every single time. Now Graham, he fires from deep. That's no good. Rebound Sinaguritz.
But you get trapped in that situation. It's very demoralising when you start to give the ball away and then you start putting up ill-advised shots.
We know Sinaguritz can shoot. It's just off the mark. Rebound Brotherson.
Does have a nice stroke for a big fella.
Fidel, good look to Brotherson. It's poor defensive transition by the Bulls, and Brotherson made them pay.
Yeah.
Here's Redland looking to use the Sinagora screen. He rolls to the basket, goes up, short with it. Rebound just too big inside, and he'll go to the line for 2.
I hate to say it, but a couple of the Hills guys look quite tired already.
They're gassed, aren't they? I mean, Whiteman, and you mentioned it, Mookie, he's having to battle with Johnny Sinagurits.
Yeah.
And that size is multiple substitutions from both teams.
Yeah, reinforcements needed.
Yeah, absolutely. And
this is a factor of the pace of the defence we've seen so far.
yeah, Benjamin White and Kalen Bayer into the game, as is Jackson Stimkovic, as Sinagurits makes the first.
And Robert Mayrick for the Hills.
2 of 2 at the line. And Johnny Sinagurits now with 6 in the ball game. 6 points and 3 rebounds already. Hills with down 8. Here's Graham. Nice little hesitation dribble, throws up a wild shot though. Looking for that reverse layup, and once again, the Bulls pushing the pace. Moller left wide open from 3 and can't get the roll. Graham on the glass.
Well, we know how proficient Graham is as a defender himself with 2.6 steals a game, but he's going to be struggling to have the energy to do that on the other end, given the load and bringing the ball up the court so far.
Very stagnant half-court offense from Hills, but nice spin move from Brotherson forces the foul from Craig Moller. He'll go to the line and shoot 2.
Craig wasn't happy with the foul either, thought it was all ball, but he's not the first player to say that.
Really, there's not much execution going on in the half court from Hills at the moment. They've been taken completely out of it by some aggressive D.
Yes.
Brotherson makes the first. He's a guy. He's going to have to go. If they have any chance in this ball game, you feel like he's going to have to go for at least 25.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm interested to see what happens with Fakira inside here now that Weichman's gone off and Fakira's come in fresh as a big target. We know how strong he can be on the interior.
Bayer, Moller, 4-3, yes. You don't want to get his eye in. If he starts knocking him down,
certainly don't.
You can say goodnight.
Yeah. We know he has had some struggles on the outside during this Waratah season.
Graham harassed by Bayer, draws the foul. It's just the second team foul of the quarter. As Edward Finlayson makes his first appearance.
Gives Moller a rest.
I haven't seen him for quite some time. Actually, we haven't seen any of the Bulls for quite some time. It's been 4 weeks since their last game.
Far too long.
Thanks to COVID. There's a nice little jump shot there in the corner. It's knocked down by Robert Mayrick.
Hills are still staying in touch.
They are. 7 points, despite being thoroughly outplayed early. Fakira finds Finlayson eventually. He tries to look inside to Simkovic, but throws it away.
Yeah. Nice little move. It was just the finish.
So Craig Moller on the bench, at the moment, it's kind of like who's going to score for the Bulls.
No Hickey, no Moller.
Yeah. Inside is Brotherson with that left-handed shot. It's no good. Nicely tapped out by Mitchell Brown. He fires away, and that's too strong. Rebound to White. Another one with a Sydney Kings connection, nephew of one Damien Keogh. Benjamin White, Finlayson. A nice little crossover from Simkovic, but there's a push off there. Looks like they've got, I think it was Ben Fakira there, trying to establish position in the low block. Call for an offensive foul.
No arguments from Fakira.
And Hill's playing for the last shot. He's Brotherson.
Solid D.
Good D by Fakira. 4 seconds. Throws a wild shot up to Graham, and that's no good. That's the end of the first period. It is the Inner West Bulls 22, the Hills Hornets 15. Mookie Shirali, your thoughts on that quarter?
Yeah, well, just watching Graham walk off the court looking absolutely gassed, I think that's quite a sure sign of what it's been like for the Hornets so far in this first quarter. The full court trap from the outset, and we saw Reggie Ridlin come in with 2 quick baskets down low and hitting that 3, and just the amount of pressure they put on has taken them right out of their offense.
Brotherson 3 of 5 from the field, and Graham has for 8 points. Graham with 3 points and a couple of rebounds, but they both played the entire quarter, and you can't imagine that's, you know, that can't continue.
No.
But, you know, I can't imagine them playing 40 minutes, especially against the kind of intense pressure and the energy that the Bulls are playing with so far.
No, that's right. They're looking exhausted. And they've already committed 5 turnovers, and each of the starters has had one. And, of course, that's going to affect them on the other end of the court too. Defensively, they're not going to be able to put in the same effort, and we've seen those holes in the paint that Inner West have been able to exploit.
You mentioned the 5 turnovers, 6 points from those turnovers has been a real key. I mean, the Bulls shooting the ball at 41% in the first period. Hornets just 28.6%. So, you know, they've actually done a pretty good job. Rebound count is even, 14 to 13. They've done a decent job just to really hang in there under what was an onslaught. I mean, it was 11 to 2 early, and we thought, my goodness, this could be anything. But they have kind of stabilised and turned the game in their favour. I think one of the things that happened was when they went to their entire bench, it was kind of like, well, where are the points coming from? I'm talking about the Bulls.
That's right.
When Moller and Hickey and Sinagorditz, who was just so dominant early with his size.
Yeah, I dare say you don't want all 3 of those off at the same time.
Yeah.
You do need that offensive output. And with the only other option I would think of being that giving Fakira inside as a target might be an option the Bulls could look at. But as you say, the Hills have kept in touch, and if they can change the tempo up in this next quarter, they've got an opportunity to get back in the game.
And look, at the end of the day, I mean, this is a game. This is the final game of the year for both teams. Unfortunately, as we mentioned, because of the COVID situation, there were 3 forfeits that the Bulls had, so they were unable to play against Newcastle, Maitland or Canberra, which was a real shame. Completely understandable, but you wonder what might have been. Great, or looked like a good pass, but it was picked off nicely by Robert Mayrick. Here's Brotherson on the spin move, straight inside. A beautiful, strong move by Paul Brotherson. He's got 10 on 4 of 6 shooting, and it's back to 5.
They want plenty more of that.
Finlayson throws up a floater
Very
in the
sweet
paint. Edward Finlayson knocks it down, and that elicits a cheer from the crowd here.
That's a sweet move, and maybe that's an answer as to where they can get a bit of offense.
Mayrick. Sort of a look away there from Jake Davidson is no good. Here's Bayer.
Oh, threaded the needle.
Yeah, he tried to, but was knocked out of bounds. He's looking for Simkovic.
He got through the smallest of holes there.
He did. Certainly a good look. 15 on the shot clock. White. Here's Finlayson. Simkovic on the smaller Fidel. Someone's open. It's Finlayson for 3. And gets the roll. Friendly rims here at the Wright Community Sports Centre. Edward Finlayson with a quick 5 points, and it's a 10-point ball game.
Great start from Finlayson.
As we said, hasn't seen much action all year. Has been injured. Here's Fidel. Looked like he travelled, got away with it. Baseline J, yes.
Finlayson on that challenge actually put his hand up for the foul.
Yes. Bayer. Yeah, Finlayson. 10 on the shot clock. Here's Bayer. Good no-look pass. Corner 3 in the air, and it's good.
Great
from
look.
Ben White.
White was handed that on a platter.
Great penetration, a great find from Kalen Bayer. A couple of threes has extended this out to double figures.
We can see why Coach Grogan's got faith in this lineup.
4 on the shot clock. They've got to get it up. Brotherson, top of the key. No good 3. No one but Ben Fakira on the glass. And look, Simkovic leaking out inside. Good night. And the foul.
Yeah.
So Jackson Simkovic, basket, and we'll go to the line for the N1.
That's the type of run that's almost timeout material, with a 13-point lead opening up now for the Bulls.
Yeah, 8 straight points. And again, that half-court offense really struggling to put any kind of pressure on this Bulls D. Simkovic can't convert the 3-point play. It's 32-19. That's the pressure. You look at the Hornets, and they're really fumbly out there. That's a nice little turnaround shot in the paint, though. Knocks that down, does Robert Mayrick, and it's back to 11. Finlayson thought about it. Nice pass inside. Simkovic missed the first and the second, and knocked out of bounds to the Hornets.
It's a tough series there for Simkovic. Nothing was working.
Well, it's one of those where you're just so frustrated because you know these are baskets you should make.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't commit a foul there.
Yeah, in the frustration aspect. Jason Strong using the screen. And he's fouled by Fakira. I think he was a little bit lucky on that one.
Yeah.
It was the Hills veteran who has been quite the athlete in his younger days. Was quite the athlete.
We were discussing before the game, he's got the prototype basketball build.
He does, and you know, I remember a game that they played against Bankstown some years back where he pulled off a spectacular dunk out of nowhere. Just essentially just kept climbing and threw it down. It was absolutely spectacular. Floater from Fidel. Marvin Fidel is no good. Here comes Bayer on the attack. Bayer almost loses it. Finlayson looking for Moller now into the game. Moller inside. Good night.
Classy move.
Yeah, and knew he had the mismatch.
Yeah, patience.
With Fidel.
Didn't force it.
No. Craig Moller has 7 now, and it's back to 13. Catch and shoot is no good, and Finlayson doing a fine job out there in his minutes.
Finlayson is playing a fine second fiddle to Hickey and providing that.
Moller just goes splash.
It's going to be one of those nights for Moller, I think.
Yeah, all of a sudden he's up to 10. It's a 16-point ball game, biggest lead of the game to date. 5:46 left. Trying to answer, no good, and Sinagorda's just all over the glass. White, take your pick. Good extra pass in the corner. Unfortunately, Bayer is no good. Good unselfish pass by Finlayson. Now Fidel looking to attack him, and Finlayson gets his hand caught in the cookie jar.
Yeah, that's exactly the term I was going to use.
Sorry, man. And he'll shoot too.
We've all been in the cookie jar a bit too much during these COVID times.
Now producer James Bowman, who does a phenomenal job.
Certainly does.
Accusing me of stealing Mookie's lines. He's probably right. I initially stole it from Bruce Bolden when I was doing some commentary with him back in the day for the Sydney Kings in the National Basketball League.
Big Bruce.
As Fidel misses the first, one more for the Hills guard, and it's good. Davo Hickey and the starters back in the game. Moller.
Moller had his eyes elsewhere.
Yeah, he did. Copped a Falcon for his trouble.
Sure did, but they recovered, looking to extend this 15-point lead.
Hills in a zone. We've seen this before. And Moller goes straight to the rack. It parted like the Red Sea, and Craig Moller said, "Thank you very much." Two-hand dunk.
Oh, here we go.
And now a steal, another turnover. Moller, 3-on-1, 4-on-1. Throws it up to Hickey, back to Sinagorda. Great play and the foul. Unselfishly, Davo Hickey and Hills are in a position now, Moogie. This is looking really, really ugly. The starters have come out.
And we see the replay here. I mean, the Bulls have got smiles across all their faces. It's a bit like an all-star game the way they were playing there.
Yeah. So Gordat's missed it. And there's an offensive rebound on a missed free throw. Gordat's tries his luck from three, short with it. Jason Strong rebounds. Here come the Hornets.
See what Weichman can do back in the game.
Strong on the cut, but nothing doing. 10 on the shot clock. Firing away for three, and that's short. And
never looked likely.
Yeah, they're 9 of 30 from the field now, the Hornets. Under 30%. Meanwhile, the Bulls are at 51% and are dominating this ball game right now. Trying to slow him down with his zone, but doesn't seem to be an issue. Ridlin, he's been hot. Not that time. And they knock it out of bounds, and that's going to stay with the Bulls. Nice hustle from Lyndon Smith-Hyde. Forced it out of bounds. Gordat's takes the bump and throws it up. No good. And that's going to be over the back, I think. It is. Johnny Gordat's is called for the foul. Just the third team foul for the Inner West Bulls in this quarter.
I think we've got that pronunciation down pat now, do we?
We have. Well, I've written it down everywhere on the roster.
Well,
we better. Yeah, no, I don't like that nickname personally, but here's Brotherson. Nice pass. Whiteman and Gordat says, get that out of here. Hickey on the break. No look pass. Smith-Hyde back to Ridlin. Corner three. Too strong. Brotherson using the Whiteman screen. Tries to force it inside to Strong, but it's knocked out of bounds. Still Hornets possession, 14 on the shot clock. Again, next week will be the Waratah finals to be held at Sutherland Basketball Stadium as Strong fires away from deep and hits a three. And it's an understatement to say that was much needed, Nuki.
Absolutely. They're just looking for a little sign of hope to get the rhythm back.
Mollard, nice dump inside. Gordat's reverse dunk with authority.
Brutal. That three-man play there was fantastic.
The biggest problem is, I mean, the Hornets zone is so static. I mean, there's no movement at all, and the ball's just getting to the seams anytime they want right now.
Yeah, no, it comes back to energy.
Brotherson trying to power his way inside. Too strong with it, though. Weichman on the boards, and the Hornets will reset. Graham using the Brotherson screen. Weichman left open from deep, hits a three.
There we go.
Now, back-to-back threes from the Hornets. Reduces the margin to 15. Moller. Hickey behind the Moller screen, and that's out of bounds. Hit the basket support.
Things are far from out of reach for the Hornets. If they can start to get that rhythm going, they just need to assert their dominance on the game, because so far the Bulls have driven everything on both ends. And if Hornets can come down here, get another good shot, start to get the rhythm.
Now it's the Bulls' turn to go into a zone.
Much more patient.
And good offensive rebound. Now Strong, he fires over Moller.
Oh, great rebound.
Good rebound, Weichman, and can't make it count, but there's another offensive rebound from Brotherson.
They deserved a basket there.
They did. And now there's Smith-Hyde. He's got Moller wide open in the corner, and that's just crash money for Craig Moller. He's got his eye in now. 15 points, 6 of 8 from the field for Craig Moller. And it's back just like that to 18. Weichman Up fakes and hits.
Yeah, nice shot.
And that should give him a little more confidence, you would think. Hickey going behind his back. Now it's Smith Hyde, wide open, one of that rainbow three again.
Oh.
But Moller on the glass, taps
hustle.
it out. And it's well saved by Smith Hyde. Here's Hickey and he's fouled. It's just, he's just one of those kids that's just got that extra gear to go to.
Yeah.
That makes him so difficult to stop because, and it can go either way. That's the thing.
Yeah, well, once he's already taken that step and you think, oh, he's exerted himself to his limit, he's got more. He just keeps gliding horizontally.
And throws it away that time. Poor pass inside and Brotherson knocked it away. Strong on the take, goes up and scores. Jason Strong, he's got 5 now. It's his second basket and it's 46-32.
Couple of steadying baskets from Strong.
Moller just fires away, in and out. And rebound to Michael Farrell into the game. Graham, and then being slapped at. No basket. Foul occurred on the floor. That's the 4th team foul for the Bulls with 29 seconds left in the half.
We've seen Craig Moller lock down a lot more in a lot of other games. He seems to have a lot of time on his hands to decide and get his shots off here. He's looking very comfortable.
Brotherson fires away over Sinagood. It's no good. Moller with another rebound. And who will slow it down for the last shot? And they're just going to spread the floor and tell Craig to go one-on-one. Smith Hyde, and that's a rainbow, and that's way short. Maybe not the shot they wanted, and that's not going to be any good. So that's half-time here at the Ryde Community Sports Centre. I only said Macquarie Community Sports Centre for some strange reason. Ryde Community Sports Centre with the Inner West Bulls 46 leading the Hills Hornets 32. And before we go to a break, Mookie, your thoughts on that first half? Certainly started with some great pressure defence leading some turnovers and early scores. Nice kind of fight back from the Hornets. But obviously, Moller was the story, wasn't he? Just unstoppable, as you'd expect.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think if you liken it to a boxing match, the first quarter, the Bulls really put those strong hits in, really got the Hornets a bit dizzy. And by the second quarter, the Bulls were able to capitalise upon that and just carve up the lane and make all those great offensive plays because the Hornets were really just struggling and gassed. And they're looking to try and find some identity in this game. So half-time, I think that's what the talk will be about. How do we find some identity? How do we get control of this game and run it to our tempo?
So before we go to the halftime break, we'll just run through the stats for you. So the Bulls have shooting the ball at 44% from the field, 31.6% on threes, and they've only 3, and they're 3 or 4 from the free throw line. They're led. Paul Brotherson, he's got 10 points on 4 of 10 shooting and 4 rebounds. And Heath Weichman, after a tough beginning, he's got 7. Jason Strong with 5. So with that, we're going to take a break here. Stay with us. You're watching Waratah Basketball on the Australian Sports Network. Welcome back to the Ryde Community Sports Centre. Once again, your score, it's the Inner West Bulls 46, the Hills Hornets 32. And Mookie, what are the Hornets got to do to at least try and get back in this ball game, make it really competitive?
I think it starts with how they set up their offense. At the moment, they seem to be setting it up under duress, and that's come down to the Bulls' defence.
Yeah.
And really, it's about looking for the tempo, getting to their main weapons, Brotherson being the primary one. He's got that. And starting with some D at the other end,
it's
so
the
that
key.
they're not constantly on the back foot.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, defensively, they went to that zone, and I mean, unfortunately, the Bulls just picked it apart and got to their spots wherever they wanted to go, essentially. Just got into the seams. They were getting pitch outs. Guys were getting open looks. I mean, they just missed some shots. Otherwise, this thing could be well and truly over by now.
That's right. And a lot of the scoring plays for the Bulls have either been fast breaks or broken down plays where they've been able to penetrate and find pass to pass and score. And that's just been far too easy. So let's see what the halftime chat has been like and whether that changes the tempo in this third quarter.
The Hornets about to inbound through Michael Farrell. Graham, Strong, Weichman and Brotherson, the other starters. As we're underway in the second half. And for Weichman in the post, Weichman with that little step through, throws it up, but Sinagorditz again just talks him out of it, just way too tall.
So Nagorets is looking like he's
Ooh,
on.
Hickey just throws a wild pass. Not even, he must have thought Lyndon Smith-Hyde was LeBron James.
Yeah. Didn't know his own strength.
Yeah, Lyndon just gave me a look, said yeah. Weichman no good on the three. And Hickey tries to save it, does. What a play. Now Moller tries to force it, but Weichman gets it back for the Hornets. Here's Graham pushing it against Ridland. And now knocked away by Sinagorditz again. Moller. There's great handles that he has. Ridland. Hickey. Nice feed. Sinagorditz put that on a silver platter for him, didn't he?
That is the talent of William Davo Hickey.
That was a beautiful feed. Yeah,
And
Strong.
And he does it on the other end with D Hickey.
Yeah. He's forced a poor shot attempt from Strong. Now Ridland wide open in transition. Bang.
He's having a night.
Reggie Ridland now into double figures. He's got 10. He's 4 of 8 from the field. And just like that, it's out to 19. Graham launches it. No good. Hickey on the glass and a chance to get this above 20. Hickey. No look pass. Moller turns down the three. Great pass. Look out.
Yeah.
Super feed again. The passing from the Bulls tonight, outstanding. Moller to Sinagorditz that time, and it is 21.
The Bulls are toying with them now. I mean, I've lost count of how many plays they've made that three-man sort of play and finished with an easy basket.
And they come out with a 7-0 run to start the second half, and now they throw it away. Graham.
Literally.
And now you've got Moller on the break. Another dunk coming up. There it is. An easy one. So 9 straight points out of the halftime break for the Bulls have blown this wide open. Weichman left open. Baseline J is good. First score of the second half for the Hills Hornets, but they find themselves in a huge hole, down 21. Hickey. Redland just hit one from there before and hits another one. He's second in this half. Give him 13 for the game. And it's out to 24. Graham fades away and hits.
Nice move.
But really, there's nothing coming out of their offense. It's just all one-on-one stuff.
Out. That was one out. And everyone else is standing and watching.
Yep. There's no movement at all from the Hornets.
And that's absolutely what you need. When you're lacking talent, you need to get the movement happening.
Ridland feeling it. Not that time, but Sinagorditz with the boards. And they'll reset. Hickey with 8, with 7. Moller has a look at 3, turns it down. Steps back into a shot. Looked like he was fouled. No call, and Sinagorditz has forced it. off Jason Strong out of bounds. So they'll get the ball back once again. Substitutions coming in. Marvin Fidel and Robert Mayrick. Ben Graham and Michael Farrell will take a seat. Moller fades away and too strong. Weichman on the glass. Redland really showing great intensity out there. Now firing away and getting the roll.
Very friendly
Robert Mayrick. Throwing it away there was Reggie. He was looking for Johnny Sinagudits.
He's tall, but not that tall.
That's right. Strong tries to attack. Forget about that.
Yeah.
Sinagudits just too strong, too tall rather. Now Hickey straight to the rack, easy layup. And unfortunately, this game is sort of getting away from Hills a bit. And now Fidel throws it away. Fakira and Simkovic will come into the ball game, replacing Sinagudits and Lyndon Smith-Hyde. .2 lead, 5:40 left in the third period here from the Ryde Community Centre. Member Quaid and Mookie Shirali here with you. Basketball New South Wales Waratah League. Fakira with that size just pulls his way to the basket and scores, excuse the pun, and it's back to 24.
And gets a good cheer from the Bulls crowd, of which they're a decent number for a COVID type event.
Yeah, they've done a good job. They manage it extremely well. I think all the Waratah, the Basketball New South Wales associations have done a great job in that regard, as a nice little up fake and reverse layup from the veteran Jason Strong.
Hickey, look out.
Hasn't really had his shooting eye in tonight, Davo. 3-on-2, great pass, Brotherson, solid finish.
Brotherson is one you can rely on in that situation. He's going to get the finish.
It's back to 20. Paul Brotherson up to 12. His first basket of the second half. Moller looking for Redland on the cut. Redland, no conscience, and that's way short. he was a long way off being on balance that time.
That's the type of one that gets you pulled.
Now Strong jacks it, and Moller on the glass. Hickey. Oh, he was looking, Moller wasn't expecting it. He's sort of looking for Moller all the way.
And
take a seat.
guard tandems swap out.
Yep. Now Ridlin and Hickey take a seat. Finlayson and Kalen Bayer into the game for the Bulls. Great hustle there, hustle rather, from Finlayson. Strong. Now Mayrick. No look pass, firing away short with it. Tip in, beautiful. Tip in there from Robert Mayrick. Finlayson. Bayer, 3-ball, yes.
Wow. Finlayson creates opportunities. He's got that quickness and he's pushing the tempo. He's asking questions.
His second assist, and Bulls already 15 assists in the game. And that's been a real feature of them tonight. That's a nice pass cross court and a solid finish inside there from Brotherson. He's got 14 now, and it's back to 19. Fakira. Good spin move, and it's rejected, but there is a foul. He got a piece of the arm, did Paul Brotherson, and Ben Fakira will shoot 2.
He'll look to push it out to a 20-point differential.
Jason Strong taking a seat. Replaced by Jake Davidson. And you look at Hills, they've had a tough year, 2-6 as we said, but Mookie, I mean, it's such a great association and a great nursery for Sydney basketball, the Hills Association.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, we've seen that through and through. They're always been renowned for that. And so, you know, every association has their dips in talent and availability.
Yeah. And, of course, memorably, you and I called a game from the Hills Basketball Centre. Once upon a time, it was the Sydney Kings playing the Melbourne Tigers in a pre-season game. I think it was 6 years ago now.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to think about.
It's crazy. It was a very different era.
They hosted, even going back further than that, they hosted, the Kings hosted, played against Washington State University, coached by none other than Tony Bennett. For those of you who might remember who Tony Bennett is, he's the head coach of the University of Virginia team that won the 2019 NCAA championship, memorably. And at the time he was Washington State, and then there was one of the players on that Washington State team was none other than a gentleman called Aaron Baines.
Yes.
And I remember that very well. As Ben Fakira makes the second, and it's a 20-point lead to the Bulls.
Of course, that wasn't the first time Tony Bennett had been on these shores.
No.
Oh, unfortunate.
Fidel just slipping down. Inopportune moment. Here's Finlayson, and he's got White if he wants him, and White goes whack with a 3-ball. Beautiful pass again. 16 assists. And that ball movement's been such a feature of their performance tonight.
It is.
But
and compared to some other performances from the Bulls where they've had three-point attempts, but they've been challenged, they haven't been in the flow, and they've been forced. These ones have just been perfectly in the flow of the offense, and the opportunities have just been set up very nicely through penetration and kick.
Bayrick, Fidel, trying to get it inside. Instead, tough fadeaway shot is no good.
Good hustle
from Brown, but good hustle recovers the ball for the Hornets. And it's going to be a foul, pushing foul on Fakira there. Brotherson just sort of looking to force his way into the paint. Kind of pointing at something on the floor there. Might have been a bit of blood perhaps, or I think I just saw Craig Moller off camera. Craig Moller's taken off his singlet, so I think might have gotten a bit of blood on it. And they're going to, looks like they're going to stop the game for that. And while we've got a little time, you were talking about Tony Bennett, and of course, 1996 preseason, he was actually signed by the Sydney Kings, and at the time, that was considered a coup because he played 160 games for the Charlotte Hornets, backing up Muggsy Bogues, and left-handed, kind of a real Kevin Lish type, but never played a game for the Kings. He was cut, released in the preseason, and replaced by a man by the name of Isaac Burton, the Iceman.
Which obviously went the way it did with some fantastic highlights and moments from Isaac Burton, and we saw the career he had in the NBL then, not only with the Kings but also with Newcastle.
So as we mentioned, Mookie, earlier, Waratah Finals weekend coming up, so the semi-finals for Waratah men on next Friday, the 19th of September, and then the 20th of September will be the finals. Actually, I got that wrong. I think it's the Saturday and the Sunday. 19th and the 20th of September anyway. So the four teams, Manly, Norths, Central Coast and Sutherland. And there is some serious talent on all those programs. They've done extremely, and a lot of NBL talent. And again, great initiative, just as they did last year, Basketball New South Wales streaming all of the Waratah games live. So Waratah finals games, I should say, and they've done a great job, all the clubs this year, associations, in streaming, getting the live streaming going. It's just really important because, this is a really good league now. It's been a league that's, had a bit of a down period, it must be said, from a talent perspective. But when you're bringing in, the guys that have come in, even the ex-NBL players that are playing for Norths, like Anatoly Bose and Tom Garlop, and then you've obviously got Jordan Hunter playing for them as well. So, and then Manly with their guys, and Central Coast, of course, have been absolutely terrific all year. And it's it really shapes as being quite the playoffs next weekend.
Absolutely, and in a year when we've been so starved for sport at times,
Yeah.
and it's great the initiative of Waratah League to have this coverage, and as you say, there's some phenomenal talent across the teams, and it's a great breeding ground for young talent coming up, and everyone's looking for that. Obviously, the NBL only has the 9 squads, so to see this talent breeding at this level and some of these players who are on the radar of the NBL is fantastic.
It'll be nice to say from next year, late next year, 10 squads in the NBL.
That's right.
With the addition of Tasmania. So,
exactly.
But you make a good point because, you know, this is, look, the coaches I know are looking at these games and people, you know, it's a competition that has had its detractors over the years, it must be said. And look, 15 years ago, the Waratah League was outstanding. I mean, it was really deep. There were a lot of NBL players that were playing in it, and it kind of lost its way for a little while, but really started to get it back this year. I mean, you've had Craig Moller for the Bulls. We had Daniel Kiggett here for a while.
That's right.
Unfortunately, he got hurt and will miss the rest of the season. Dave O'Hickey's been a development player with the South East Melbourne Phoenix. So, you know, just alone here. And then
Nagoratz, who trains with the Kings.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So, you know, there's certainly talent there, and the coaches will have, you know, especially now they've got an opportunity to actually watch these games. We'll sit down and really scout these guys, so you never know.
That's right, exactly. So, great amount of talent on display. It should be an interesting final season, and fingers crossed that we don't get any more COVID issues with
don't say
completing touch Lemonex.
Yeah, that's a big knock on wood for you, my friend. But no, and we've really enjoyed, you know, being a part of this for the Inner West Bulls.
Absolutely.
And it's you know, it really has been a terrific initiative and something that I hope they continue with next season.
Yeah, absolutely.
And fingers crossed there won't be any of this nonsense that we've had to go through over the last 6 months.
We're going to come out the other side. It's going to be a very different year and different season.
The Bulls with a 23-point lead. They look like they've cleaned up the blood on the court, and there's also a little bit of sweat. It's being nicely cleaned up.
Yep. Round of applause.
Round of applause for the floor wiper. One of the staff here at the Inner West Bulls. So we'll be back into action. Inbound pass. Brotherson harassed by Simkovic. 8 on the shot clock. Forces his way in, and
Simkovic thought he had all ball.
I don't think he did too much wrong there, Jackson, in all honesty, but Brotherson, with his aggression, earns himself a trip to the line for 2 free throws.
And often that's what it comes back to. If you ask the question of the refs and put the aggression on, we see the replay there. It's a bit hard to tell from that angle entirely. But it's pushing the issue is what wins games a lot of the time, and that's what the Bulls have done most of the way. We watched that set just there. The defense from the Bulls is right up and in. And on the other end, if we observe the next play again, I'm sure we'll see that quite often the Hornets are standing off. They're giving a bit of space. It's almost like they're catching their breath on the defensive end.
Yeah, and as I said, there's been a lot of standing around defensively. You know, it's all very well to play a zone, but if you're playing a zone where you're standing around and not moving and getting to spots, that just makes it easy for an offense to pick you apart, as what they've done all night long. Brotherson makes the first.
It makes for a very confident offense.
Paul Brotherson 2-2 at the line. He's got 16 now. He's the only Hills Hornet in double figures. Now, Edward Finlayson has done a fine job out there tonight. Looking to use the Simkovic screen. And that time they moved their feet and collapsed the interior. And unfortunately, it's going to be out of bounds. But that was one of the few times where they collapsed really well, moved their feet, and got rewarded for it.
That's right. More of the same.
Fakira. Trying to run a bit of a two-man game here with Finlayson. Shot clock down to 5. Bayer to the rack. And again, this 5, you just wonder where the scoring's going to come from for the Bulls. But with a 21-point lead, as Fidel launches a deep 3, it's off the mark.
Oh.
Now just, I don't know who Ben White was throwing it to. I think he was looking for Finlayson, but it was
Finlayson
way
wasn't running
wide of
onto
the mark
it in the same way that he thought
No,
it was.
that's right. The final minute of the third quarter here. Fidel is behind his back. Finlayson cleans up the miss. See if they go. Should be able to get a 2-for-1 here. Looking for Fakira, can't find him. Now they're getting the ball. Hand off to Finlayson. Oh, a little fake if you don't mind. Back to Fakira. Can't finish though. And rebound to Brotherson. Here comes Fidel. Little fake and look away, but can't finish. And they should hold for the final shot. Instead, Finlayson's going to push. Now Fakira. Looking to spin, it strips.
Solid D.
Now Fidel leaking out and an easy layup. Cuts it to 19, 4 seconds left, there's still time. Finlayson's going to have to launch from beyond the half-court line, and it's off to the right. And that is the end of the third period. And it was a period that was controlled pretty much from start to finish by the Inner West Bulls. They lead the Hornets 69-50. Mookie Shirali.
Yeah, positive finish there at the end for the Hornets, the last couple of plays, but absolutely we're seeing a continuation of the same theme, and there's definitely a concern on the defensive end, and that type of movement that's needed on the defensive end is needed offensively as well to address what I think we can see a bit of a talent gap between the two squads.
Yeah, look, there's no question there is a talent gap. Paul Brotherson's been terrific, you know, and he's sort of been manfully keeping them in it as much as he can. But unfortunately, they just don't have the firepower to compete with a Bulls team that I've been really impressed with, you know, in a number of ways, but particularly the ball movement. I mean, it's 16 assists.
Yeah,
that says a lot.
Absolutely.
And they're always looking to find the extra man. You know, they've had shots and they've passed them up because they're looking to get, you know, shots for guys that have got, you know, better shots in better positions.
I think it should be said as well, the Bulls squad has formed an identity as the season has gone on.
Yeah.
They started out quite stagnant and were looking for options and were struggling to find them and putting everything through Craig Moller. That's changed. They've found Dave O'Hickey as another option, but then we see someone like Finlayson come in. We see Sunagorats inside as another target, and a lot more players playing off each other and creating opportunities. Yeah,
it's a real shame for them because, you know, they haven't, as we said, they haven't played in a month because of COVID-19, and unfortunately the teams, as we mentioned before, Newcastle, Maitland, Canberra, having to pull out of Waratah, and that really hurt them because it didn't give them an opportunity to really push for a finals berth. They had to rely on other results to fall their way, which they really, it didn't happen, unfortunately.
It's hard. It's one of those asterisk seasons, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not.
I mean, you know, asterisk with, obviously we do say, you know, the finals are going to be fantastic.
Absolutely.
And it'll be a worthy champion because those four teams are outstanding.
Yeah.
You know, Central Coast, Manly, Norths and Sutherland. So that's going to be, you know, a tremendous final series.
Undoubtedly.
So we're just about to get the final quarter underway. Last game of the Waratah regular season. On the bench, might expect them to play extended minutes here. And straight away, there's Ben White.
Confident start.
Just like his uncle, Damien 3-0 knocking it down from outside.
Yeah.
Brotherson. Step back shot.
Oh,
yes.
Wow. Well, when you got to go straight back to the well, don't you? Go to where the money is.
As we said, second leading scorer in Waratah is Paul. He's got 18 points now and 7 of 13 shooting. And an offensive foul has been called.
Brotherson's one of those players. It's nothing flashy. It's all fundamentals, and it's just solid and consistent and predictable.
No, excellent pass, but unfortunately, Robert Mayrick couldn't finish it. And here's Bayer. Fakira.
That's a mismatch.
Deep catch. Fakira, and they shut him down though. And look at leaking out. Fine pass and a great finish from Jake Davidson. Leaked out, got behind the D. They found him and he finished it.
Yeah, that was a great catch and finish all in one step.
Again, trying to get Fakira in the post. Bayer back to Fakira. Finlayson launches it and hits.
Bulls bench is up and cheering. Towels waving.
Edward Finlayson, 3 of 3 from the field. He's got 8. And it's back to 21. Good defense there on Fidel.
Feet moving.
Fidel with a spin move, throws it up. He kept at it, to his credit. And he'll go to the line for 2.
Yeah, that 1-2 combo between Finlayson swapping in with Hickey is a really good one for the Bulls. It's given them 2 quick point guards who can create opportunities defensively, gets in people's grills.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where the Bulls go next season and the type of talent they've got. They can attract. They've certainly got some big plans as an association.
Yes.
We're talking about potential NBL 1 entry.
Very exciting.
Which is very, very exciting. Now White feeling it. Oh, in and out. That looked good off the hand. And now he steals it beautifully. 2-on-1. White pulls up and short with it. And there's Finlayson. Oh, that was close. And he's a little bit frustrated, young Edward, claiming he got all ball. Thought he picked Fidel's pocket, but the referee said no dice and called the foul. Pulling up, and it's too strong. Finlayson tracks down the rebound on the Mayrick miss.
Beautiful.
Great pass to Simkovic.
Yeah. That was all Finlayson.
Yeah, the Bulls bench up as 1. Now Brotherson pulls up, and that's in and out. Bayer on the glass. Brotherson rips it away from him, almost saves it, and does.
Wow,
what a play by Brotherson.
A baller.
Baseline jumper. It's too strong, but there's a tap rebound from Jake Davidson. Paul Brotherson, yeah, I guess he's not particularly athletic, but fundamentally really sound.
Yeah.
Bayer goes to the rack and he's fouled. He'll shoot 2 free throws.
And Brotherson's averages speak to that. 18.7 points a game, 5.6 rebounds, 3 assists, 1.4 blocks, 56% from the field, 41% from deep. I mean, those are...
He's having a terrific season, there's no doubt. And you just wonder if they had a couple of... I'd really like to see a couple of athletes alongside him.
Yeah, that's what he needs.
You know, just to take a little bit of the pressure off, because he's shouldering a huge burden for this club.
Absolutely. Yeah, he just needs a bit of help.
Bayer missed the first and missed the second. So Bulls lead is 19. 6:41 left in the game. Taken away by Simkovic.
Off to the races again.
Sinagorets tries to find Simkovic. That was never on. Now the Hornets looking to go the other way. Graham, nice feed inside.
Very smart.
And a good finish. Again, that man we've been talking about, Brotherson. We know Graham can pass the ball. Top 5 in assists in Waratah this year. It's a great feed there. Finlayson, that's no good. Rebound to Hills. short on that one. Oh, offensive rebound, long offensive rebound. Comes out to Mitchell Brown. Throws it up behind the backboard, no good. And then here comes Bayer the other way. Finlayson looking to split the double team, loses it. Getting a little bit sloppy. Brotherson, nice feed. Excellent dump off from Ben Graham. And they score to reduce the margin to 15. So, again, Bulls just running their bench at the moment, with the exception of Johnny Sinagurdits.
A couple of sloppy plays.
Yeah. Sam Gruggan, the coach, won't be too happy about that. And now Simkovic just taps it out straight to Hills.
Ooh.
And now...
I think he might have got a bump on the arm.
I think so. He's claiming it, but instead...
That wasn't one of those video game passes where it just goes to no one.
Yeah.
Hit him on the funny bone.
Craig Moller and Dave O'Hickey will play the last 5 minutes here. Starting unit back on the floor for the Inner West Bulls. Hickey. Redlin steps back 3 short. Sinagorda, it's just that height. Hickey gets it back. He's got Moller. Nice feed. Back to Hickey. Score it.
Wow.
Smart play, Craig Moller. And good hustle from Johnny Sinagurdits.
And Hickey running. You know, not staying stagnant, finding the opportunities.
Cross-court pass from Graham. Finds Brotherson, fires away, too strong. And Mitchell Brown trying to dump it down low, and they've drawn a foul.
They were bailed out with that foul.
A little bit. It was a forced pass. $14 on the shot clock. Graham to inbound. Brotherson tries to find Michael Farrell, but it's no good. Now Moller. Now reset. Moller. This is where he's tough one way or the other. They triple team him. Hickey with an up fake. Nice pass. Lyndon Smith-Hyde, 3-ball. I mean, Lyndon Smith-Hyde shoots it, that thing so high, he can cause a thunderstorm. Here's Brotherson trying to answer, no good. That is a really high arc from Lyndon.
He really likes to make it rain.
Hickey, nice pass to Ridlin. Moller, 3. And Sinagurdits with a rebound. Here's Moller, powers down the lane and scores.
Wow. Now, oh, great steal.
Now Hickey in the steal. He's got Ridlin if he wants him. He finds him. Smith-Hyde on the attack. Had the layup, instead gives it up. Hickey, 3, short. Another O-board, Sinagurdits, and a stick back from Johnny.
Too easy. And I think it's worth noting, I can see Mitchell Sultana about to check in for the Hills. And from what I understand from the Hornets broadcast, he's got a bit of a cult following in the Hills district. And as Matt has dutifully put in the notes here, he's played 3 games with 2 minutes played. So let's see if he can get a couple more minutes here.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, Brotherson splashes a triple. Hickey using a double screen there. Sinagurdits looking for that cross-court pass, but it's knocked away, and now foul's been called on Lynn Smith-Hyde. That's the 4th team foul for the Bulls. And that man
checks in.
Sultana. So we're going to have to talk him up if that's the case.
Yeah, that's it.
Got the cult following. I know we've
believe
sure to have
something like the Sultana squad or something was his fan club.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Let's hope you can get a couple of baskets for you Hornet fans watching. There it is, straight away. Why not? And too strong. And that's the way to do it. Leaking out is Fakira. Good pass and a nice little finish. Ooh. Yes. Hung on the rim for an eternity. But Reggie Ridlin scores.
Reggie Ridlin's had an evening.
He has, 88-65. And now, almost a no-look shot there.
It was a no-look shot.
It was a no-look shot.
Nice little ball fake.
From Garland. And
Circus.
yeah, it was. 88-67. Here's Hickey.
Oh, wow.
Tries the reverse scoop. He was
Don't think
off
he even
balance.
needed the reverse.
Oh, nice pass, but here's that man,
Yeah.
Sultana.
Oh.
Can he score?
Oh, with the
Goes
fake.
one way or the other, and he
Oh.
does score.
Oh.
And the Hills bench loves it.
They sure do.
Yeah, so the Sultana squad, we need a replay from that. Well, you can watch it on YouTube to his heart's content later.
That was
as can
beautiful.
the entire Sultana squad.
The ball fake on the way through.
Mookie Shirali bringing the Waratah knowledge. I love it. And now Hickey's fouled by Ben Graham. Just the second team foul.
Maybe Mitchell Sultana was the answer the Hornets have been
Yeah,
looking
that's
for
right.
all
He's the
night.
secret weapon. Ridlin, no conscience, no good. Rebound Brotherson.
He's open.
And now it's fumbled out of bounds by Daniel Garland. And we roll down to the final minute of the final regular season game of the 2020 Waratah League. Ridlin, little jumper is off the mark. And cleaned up by Graham, and he's fouled by Ridlin and stops the clock at 50 seconds, and we'll give Mr. Graham some free throw shooting practice as the Bulls are now in the penalty. Now, remarkably, everyone on the Inner West Bulls roster has scored tonight. As Graham is 2 of 2 from the line. We roll down to 45 seconds left. Hickey in no hurry. Shot clock at 8. Hickey trying to find Fakira. Knocked away. Hickey's got to launch it at the buzzer. And it's a 24-second shot clock violation. So 21 seconds left. Can they get the Sultana man another one?
Let's hope. He's in the corner. And
Yeah, he's gonna park himself in the corner. See if they can find him a basket to finish off the Hornets Waratah campaign. And there it is. He is going to shoot.
Oh.
And off the mark, unfortunately. So Smith Hyde, 3 seconds. I don't think he'll take a shot. No, he's going to do a half-court heave. It's off the mark, and that's it. The ball game is over, and the final game of the Waratah season 2020 has been taken out by the Inner West Bulls over the Hills Hornets, 88-71, and really solid performance by the Inner West Bulls against a team in the Hornets that, you know, realistically didn't have the same talent level, clearly.
Yeah.
Paul Brotherson played a lone hand. I thought offensively he was terrific, and they had some flashes, but
yeah,
really it was set up, the tone was set early, that 11-2 run out of the gate, set up by that pressure. Reggie Ridlin, a couple of steals and baskets, obviously, and they were never headed.
No, that's right. And I think the scoreline probably isn't entirely indicative of the gap. The Bulls did take the pedal off the metal a little bit during the game, and it could have been a much larger margin. But, yeah, as you say, the tempo was set early. That defensive scheme that they put in just put the pressure on. And from there, it was all Bulls basketball in terms of fast breaks and gaps in the paint and just the opportunity to get confident on offense.
Considering they hadn't played in 4 weeks, it was a pretty solid performance. And as we mentioned throughout the broadcast, the passing and the ball movement and the unselfishness was a real key for that win, I thought.
It was. And that they weren't caught in that stagnant half-court offense. They weren't caught in one-outs and late three-point jack-ups from outside. That they were actually creating early in the offense, penetrating, And as we discussed, I think the guard play was something to focus on for the Bulls tonight. There was a number of highlights there in the guards. We saw Reggie Ridlin and Ben White both have good performances with some steals and some threes, and something that they've probably wanted more of throughout the season. And outside of that, obviously, they weren't relying entirely on Craig Moller. I mean, Craig Moller did very well and had some numbers to show for it. 19 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals. He was all over the stat sheet, but it wasn't as if, as we've seen in previous games, where they were relying on Moller to create, and we're just watching Craig Moller trying to dribble and create something.
Well, that was a game where, you know, Craig played 24 minutes, wasn't even the leading minute getter. That was Johnny Sinagurditz with 25. So they really spread their minutes evenly. They got everybody involved, which was, you know, great to see, and everybody got on the score sheet, which, you know, anybody loves to see, coach particularly.
Yeah, this is the type of game I think the Bulls would have loved to have as something to build on for next season, and look at how they can construct the roster, and there are plenty of highlights there and plenty of things to use going into next season.
So before we sign out here, we'll just go through the final stats for you. Bulls, once again, 88-71 winners. They shoot the ball at 45% from the field, 36 of 79. They hit 13 threes from 37 attempts, 35%. Free throws, they only got to the free throw line 8 times and only made 3 of 8.
Yeah.
So 37%, that's not what you want to see. They're led, as Mookie pointed out, Craig Moller, 19 points, 8 of 14 from the field, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals. He was outstanding, as you'd expect. Johnny Sinagurditz just way too tall for the Hornets. You know, he was a problem for them all night. 16 points, 13 rebounds, 5 offensive. That was a huge key. Also had 2 block shots. And then Reggie Ridlin, outstanding performance by him. You know, we talked about him at the start with those 2 steals leading to baskets. And he finishes with 15 points on 6 of 15 shooting. As we mentioned, every Bull scored in the game, so that was important. The rebounding was 49-45, but they grabbed all the key rebounds when they needed to, didn't they?
They did. And I think on the other end, I mean, Hills, as we say, Brotherson was doing everything for them offensively. He was a stalwart. Early on, Weichman was doing his part, and then seemed to sort of migrate out of the offense a little bit. So I don't know if that was just a factor of the way the game was playing, and it kind of fell out of reach. But there possibly could have been some more opportunities there.
So just looking at the final stats here, they're going to be brought over to us. Thank you very much. So, yeah, from a Hills perspective, 36.7% from the field, 29 of 79. You know, they just couldn't make a 3 to save their life. 4 of 20, so 20% from deep. And 9 of 10 of the free throw line was impressive. Brotherson, as we mentioned, I mean, a lion-hearted performance from him. 23 points, 11 rebounds. Now, he can go out with his head held high. You know, he was the only Hornet actually in double figures. Next best was Weichman, who was 4 of 12 from the field for 9 points. Jason Strong and Marvin Fidel had 7 apiece, as did Ben Graham. Ben Graham also had 5 assists. As we mentioned, I mean, the Bulls 22 assists on 36 made field goals.
Yeah. It was being shared around, which has been very different to a lot of other games with a lot of one-out play. So that was happening on fast breaks, and it was happening in the half court as well.
And probably the other thing we're looking at here is 16 turnovers from the Hornets, and the Bulls converted those for 21 points.
Yeah. That sort of just demoralises one team and gets the other team's confidence up. That was a big factor.
So we are going to sign out here for the final time in the Waratah League. And once again, it's been great to have your company. And we thank the Inner West Bulls for having both Mookie and myself on the broadcast. We've enjoyed it immensely. The Waratah League will finish next weekend, and it's going to be streamed. Go to the Basketball New South Wales website for further information. The 19th and the 20th of September is finals weekend in the Waratah. It's going to be held at Sutherland Basketball Stadium. They're being very restrictive on numbers, so the live stream will be the main way to actually watch those games, and they will be sensational games. You know, count on it. This has been a great competition. It's unfortunate it's been hurt by COVID as much as it has, but the reality is we're left with 4 teams, Mookie, and we just spoke about it earlier, with absolutely great talent across the board.
Oh, indeed. I'm excited about these finals. I think it's going to be really good. And the talent levels are there. There's so much you know, there is a wide range of talent across this competition. There's no doubt about that at different levels, but the top level of talent there is very high, and it's deeper than it's been for a long time, I think.
So we thank our sponsors, the #1 draft pick and Allied Express, and obviously the Australian Sports Network, and James Bowman for his brilliant production, as always, the man behind all this production, and does a fantastic job. And he has done for the Sydney Kings, for the NBL, and now for the Waratah League. So he's branching out. And don't forget the, Queensland Basketball League and the GPS schools. So all of that on the Australian Sport Network. Check it out on YouTube. It's a great production. John Guana doing the commentary up in Queensland, but James is the man behind it all. So for Mookie Shirali, for James Bowman, I'm Matt McQuaid. It's been great to have your company tonight from the Ryde Community Sports Centre. Once again, the Inner West Bulls getting their final victory of the Waratah League, 88-71 over the Hills Hornets. Good night.
#1 draft pick basketball academy. Delivering world-class basketball players and coaches. Develop your individual and team skills. Let us take your game to the next level. Our school holiday basketball camps teach all aspects of the game. The Learn to Play program caters for beginners ages 5 to 18. Elite players will be challenged by our world-class coaches. Develop your individual and team skills. We take pride in developing representative players of all ages. Make sure you visit our website at #1draftpick.com and find out what all the fuss is about.
Is your delivery partner keeping up or letting you down? Not happy? We're ready to help. At Allied Express, we're completely geared up to deliver locally and interstate. You get cutting-edge technology that tells you where your stock is every step of the way. A partner who delivers satisfaction day in, day out, and fast. A partner who knows it's how you deliver to customers that's crucial. There are challenges. Not everyone can handle them, but we can, and we go the extra mile. Our alerts tell customers when we'll arrive, and it's exactly when they want it. If that's after they finish work or easier on the weekend, we tailor our delivery to suit their needs. If you like how we deliver success, contact Allied Express today.